So nice and easy flow today. Work to all the options that work for you though, so if you need to slow it down, if you need to take an extra breath at any point, you can do, remember. Work to where it feels good, so you're breathing and moving all at the same time. Nice and easy. So we've got a normal standing setup and mobilisation, so feet are about hip width apart. Just stretch your toes out. You're trying to get a little bit of space between each of your toes. So if you look down, you're trying to see, if you don't have socks on, the floor between your toes, or if you do have socks on, you're just going to have your toes being the widest part of your feet. And then rolling your shoulders back and round. So nice easy shoulder circles to start with. So and then the other way. So, and then roll your shoulders back and down. Coming into your neutral spine, so think about having your heels, your hips, your shoulders, your earlobes stacking, feeling like you're growing tall, but you're not squeezing your knees, your thighs, your bum for dear life. So you might feel a little bit of extra tension here, kind of think of in your tummy, in your core. And then taking your ear to one shoulder, the other side, one more either side. And then our head turns, so turning your chin all the way around. Tip your head back if you're happy to. Nice and slowly circle all the way around to one side. And then back at the side, half circles if you prefer. And then one more either way. And then bringing your head back to centre, so back that nice long tall neutral spine again, to grow tall, stretching your right arm over, circle your wrist, and then circle the other way. So bringing the arm down, stretching your left arm over, press through your left foot, so imagine you're holding down a 50-pound note underneath your left foot. So, and taking your right arm over again, spine, press your hips to the right side, reaching out through your fingertips. Take 2 slow breaths into your right side. Coming up to centre, and then switching sides. So press your hips to the left side, reach out through your fingertips. Excuse me, and take 2 slow breaths. Circling back through centre. Shoulders if you want to. We'll do an upper body twist. So you're twisting through your rib cage, just through the upper body. Your hips stay nice and still. So bringing your arms in front. Again, grow tall. Imagine you've got a cup of coffee balanced on each shoulder. So as we're twisting, we're trying not to lift or dip through your shoulders as well. So you're going to pull your right elbow back. Straighten your arm back, looking back to your fingers. And then bring the arm in front. So left elbow pulling back. Adding on to if you want to. So this time stretch your fingers out, fold your hand back at the wrist, so you're that extra stretch on your fingers and your arm maybe. Keeping your hips nice and still. It's all about working out different areas of the body, trying to keep a bit still, remove other bits. So then bringing your arms down, maybe shrug your shoulders again. From here we'll do our roll downs, just to halfway, and then our heel lifts and arm circles. So growing tall again, soften your knees, rolling over and down. Hands on your legs if you like a little bit of support. So breathe in. And breathe out, roll all the way back to the top. So lift to your tiptoes. Slowly circle your arms one way. And then the other way. And so bring in your heels back down. So come back to neutral, grow tall. Remember, you're not squeezing your bum, you're not squeezing your thighs, your knees. Soften your knees. And then rolling over and down. So you pause, breathing in, back's nice and rounded. And feeling that extra stretch in your back with your inhale. Roll back up. So lift back to the tiptoes. Add your arm circles in one way. And the other way. So bringing your heels down. Come back to neutral, then our last roll down. Soften your knees, rolling down. Pausing and breathing in. Rolling back up. So lifting back to your tiptoes. Circle your arms one way. That's it, and then come all the way back to centre. Maybe pedal through your feet a few times. So from there we're going to come into our slow breath work. So we'll start without the band and then option to add the band in if you want to. So with your upper chest, your shoulders are going to stay nice and still. All the movement's going to be through the rib cage. So restack, find that nice neutral spine, very tall. Hands on your ribs. Lengthen through the back of your neck. Tucking your chin in a bit. And then you're breathing in and out through your nose, remember. So just take that first breath in and out. Allow everything to settle. And off we go. So inhaling for 5 seconds. Exhaling for 5 seconds. You're aware of the movement through the rib cage. And then if you're happy to, we'll add in stretchy bands so it gives a little bit more feedback, a little bit more resistance to work to. So if you're happy to use the band, just looping the band around your lower ribs, so the floating ribs, the ones that are most mobile. Again, reset, so find that nice long to a neutral spine, relaxing the shoulders. And again, off we go. So nice gentle inhale. And then exhale. Feeling for your ribcage expanding into the band, this time with your inhale. Your ribs get smaller on the exhale. We'll do one more round of breath. Taking the band away. Keep going with that nice, slow, gentle breath, apart from when we do the hypopressives, that is breathing in and out through your nose as much as you can do. We can do our standing leg circle, so feel free to rest the hand on the wall if you're wobbly. Lengthen through your right leg, right toe stretched out. We're going to circle our left leg. Keeping your knees straight, so you can draw your circles on the floor, you can lift it off the floor, just depends how stable you're feeling today. That's it. 2 more. That's one. And then circle, same leg, just circle it the other way around. 2. So the last one, bring your leg in front. You're going to circle your foot. And then the other way. So bring that foot down, pedal out through your feet. And then we'll switch legs. So again, restack your tall left toe stretching out, right leg circling, circles, drawing on the floor, lift your foot up a bit if you want to, working from the hip. Nice. So, and then circling the other way. This one again, good. Bring your leg in front, so you can hover your foot, circle your foot round. Circle the other way. That's it. And then again, pedal out. And then stepping your feet wider, so more shoulder width. We're going to do our basic squats. So feet, toes stretching out, toes forwards or maybe slightly turning out, it's up to you. And sit your hips all the way back down behind you. So, and then lifting up. So we're going to go for 3. So most of your weight's in your heels, a little bit through your toes still. Good, last one. So, and the same thing, but lifting up on your toes. If you need to bring your heels down, just going to bring your heels down, otherwise your heels are slightly lifted throughout. And then we've got 6. So, oops, we go for 3. Last one. That's it. And then take your feet wider, so wide squats. So your range of movement, legs turning out towards the corners of your mat or your room. Heels are flat down to start with, or feet are flat down to start with. So last 2. This one. That's it. And then again, you're going to lift back to your tiptoes. These get a little bit more wobbly. Bring your heels down if you need to. Last 6. Good work. 2. Last one. That's it. And then heels come down. Walk your feet all the way back in. So I'm just going to open the door a bit more. It's getting warm. Good. So we're going to go just through the complete basic flow for hypopressives. So nothing extra added on. Probably is going to get a bit achy on the shoulders though, so I apologise to start with. Bring your arms down if you need to. So we'll start feet together and get that nice hip width apart, turning your toes out and then turning your heels out, stretching out through your toes. Find that neutral, so reset, go tall, slightly lean forwards, and then bringing your arms out. So your fingertips are reaching out for your skirting boards, a little bit of pressure back through the palms. Lengthen the back of your neck, soften the knees, and then off we go. So nice strong breath in for 2, then out for 4, strong in for 2, relaxed out for 4, keep going tall, 1 more, into the breath, relax your jaw, relax your tummy, and then your vacuum or your breath hold. As you breathe in, bring your forearms in, so fingers point into the hips, pressure down through your palms, reach out through the elbows. One more breath. Sit back to your breath hold. Breathe in, arms lift to shoulder level. Sit, empty the breath all the way out. Relax your jaw, your tummy, vacuum or breath hold. Inhale, arms lift towards your ceiling. And then vacuum or breath hold. Keep pressing the ceiling and the walls away. Half bent over, so you've got a nice hip hinge, lengthen out through your back. Head stays in line with your back, reaching out through your elbows. So one more breath. And then vacuum or breath hold. Inhale to lift up, and then coming down onto your knees. So toes are tucked, heels are pointing up to the ceiling. Going tall, and arms come back to here. And so reach out through your elbows, press down through the palms. Strong inhale, and sit and out. One more breath. Vacuum or breath hold. Inhale, arms come up to shoulders, pressing out through your palms, reaching through the elbows. Hands are about hip width. That's it. One more breath. Vacuum or breath hold. Inhale, arms lift, so hands and elbows pressing out. One more breath. And relax your vacuum or your breath hold. So coming down onto all fours. So fingers point towards each other, soft through your elbows, so your elbows are not straight. Lengthen tailbone to head, head in line with the back. Toes are still tucked if you can. Breath in and out. Relax your jaw, your tummy, back, your breath hold. Coming down into our prayer. So rotate your hands, the fingers point forwards, forearms and your forehead on the floor. Long line from head to tailbone still. And your arms are helping support your body. Inhaling. Your breath. Exhaling out. As always, relax your jaw, your tummy, back, your breath hold. Inhaling, coming round to cross legs. So either cross your ankles, knees go wide, and then roll back. Or you're just going to spin your legs round. So grab a cushion if you want to lift your hips up to make it a bit more comfortable. And then restack. So hips, ribs, head are in line. Arms come out and set. And a strong breath in. Keep going tall, back in the breath hold. Inhale, arms come up to shoulder level. Set. In the breath. And then back in the breath hold. Inhale, arms reach the ceiling. Just check you haven't come into a back bend, so you're still lifting and lengthening through your head and your back. In the breath. And back in my breath hold. Now bring your arms down. And then lengthen almost completely, but still keep a bend through your knees. Pull your feet back, arms back to this position again. Sit, grow tall. Gaze is at your eye level, so your head hasn't dropped down. And then you're back in where your breath hold. So inhaling arms to shoulder level. Doing good. Inhale, last sitting one to press the ceiling and the walls away. So one more breath. Back in a breath hold. Bring your arms down, and then the best one is going to come all the way down onto your back. So right leg crossing over your left leg, pulling your feet back. So you should feel your inner thighs kind of switch on when you do that. And then right hand pressing the left hand away. Arms aren't resting on the floor, they're hovering off the floor. You might still be able to see your elbows in your peripheral vision. Lengthen the back of your neck. Breathing into the floor this time. So breath in and out. Think about widening your ribcage with your inhale. Exhaling out. Relax your vacuum or your breath hold. And then as you breathe in, recross your legs, and then left hand presses the right hand away. Pull back on your feet. So again, you get that switch on through the inner thighs. Last round. Breath in. So expanding your back into the floor, side of your ribs. One breath. And then the last, back your breath hold. And then breathe in, stretch all the way out, nice full body stretch. Maybe circle your wrists or your feet. And just take a breath or two. We're going to come over to, we're going to come back up to sitting. So you can roll to your side, pressing all the way up. So, and then bringing your legs into diamond legs. We're going to do our seated twists. So if it's more comfortable to sit up on a cushion, grab a cushion, and stack your arms, shoulders are relaxed. Got that feeling of growing tall again. I'm going to rotate round to one side, centre, round to the other side. Centre, restack your arms and sit down. Just noticing what it feels like twisting side to side. So does it feel like you've got equal twist side to side? Restack your arms. Feel like it's easier on one side and the other side. Restack. That's it, two more. Turning your head a little bit further. Insert back to centre, bring your arms down, fold forwards, take a breath or two here. And then restack, sit tall. We're going to add on with our arms. We're going to add in, so we're going to twist to the side, you're going to sweep that arm back behind you, so make sure you've got space to stretch your arms back. So nice teeny arms, grow tall again, rotate round. You've still got your imaginary cup of coffee on each shoulder. So as you're rotating, just be really aware you're not kind of dipping or twisting. So good. And then one more either side. I think that's 6 each way. Come back to centre. You're all right, Cleo. Hey. So I'm going to come all the way up. And just sit tall. You're going to come round into a seated twist, looking over your shoulder. And then twist around to the other side, looking over the other shoulder. Center, easy side bend, excuse me. Press down through your right hip as you reach your right arm over your head. So, and then switch sides. So pressing down through the left hip. So, and then holding on to your knees, the back of your legs, just lifting your chest up so a seated back bend. And then come back to center. We're going to come over to hands and knees. So just a couple of cats and cows, so bending, arching around and through your back. So breathing out, feel like you're pushing the floor away. Round your back, the ceiling, head relaxing as tailbone tucks. And then inhale, lift through your head, your tailbone, so your tummy goes towards the floor. A couple more either way. So come back to center. Come down onto your forearms. This is going to help keep our back a little bit more aligned, a little bit more neutral. Try not to do this. You're trying not to drop down through your tummy, through your lower back. So lengthen head to tailbone. Tailbone is very slightly tucked under. We can do our legs. So right leg stretches back behind you. Toes are tucked. We'll do a calf stretch on the first one. Feel like you're pressing your heel back and down. Press down through your elbows. And then switch legs. So left leg straightens, toes are tucked. Press your heel back and down. So come back to center. So keep pressing through your elbows so you're not kind of sinking down through your shoulders. Imagine there's a puddle of lava underneath you. So this time, right leg straightens, lift your right leg up. To about level with your hips. Press out through the heel. Bring the knee back to center. And then left leg stretches back. So just going to alternate on the first one. Press down through your elbows. Press out through your heels. Imagine your heel is going to reach the wall behind you. That's it. Do 2 more either leg. Last one either side. That's it. And then sit back, or if you're happy to do child's pose, come back into a wide leg child's pose. And then come back to all fours. So back to hands on the floor. So then we're going to add our arms and legs together. So we're going to take it into our Supermans. Again, try not to drop in the lower back, try not to drop your shoulders. So you've got that puddle of lava underneath you. You're going to push away from the lava. If you find that you get really wobbly when you do this one, I would keep both hands on the floor and just keep going with your legs again. Otherwise we're going opposite arm and leg. So right arm, left leg, slide away. Lift up. And then come back to center. So nice and slow and controlled. Reaching out through your fingertips, reaching out through your heel. That's it. Do 2 more either side. Keep pushing out away from the floor, away from your puddle of lava. And then your last one. Insert, and again, either sit back or we come back to our wide leg child's pose. Rest your head on the floor or your hands, wherever it's comfortable so you can breathe. And become aware of your breath. So as you're breathing in, can you feel the movement, the stretch all the way down to your pelvic floor? Or maybe you're aware of it as you breathe out. Shoulders are relaxed. Sit and then slowly lift up. You're going to make your way over onto your back. It's going to work out. I need to lie the other way so I'm not blinded by the sun. What's better? So lengthen out through your back. If you normally have a block or a cushion or anything just tucked under your head, set yourself up if you're not too sure. When you're lying down, we don't want to be looking back behind us. So if you're looking back at the wall or the ceiling or your chin's lifted up, but really big arch underneath your neck or your shoulders, feel uncomfortable, grab a cushion or a pillow, something, and just tuck it underneath the back of your head. So that when you're lying down, neck is slightly lengthened, your chin is tucked in. We're in that same neutral spine position we were doing when we were standing. But a little bit of a gap underneath your lower back. Maybe enough space to push your fingers. Maybe enough space just for a piece of paper. Your natural spinal curves. Arms come down to the floor. So you haven't tucked your tailbone under, you haven't pressed your lower back into the floor. You're not imprinting your spine. That slight lift through the lower back. Then just rest your hands if you're happy to. Just rest your hands on your tummy. If you're not, arms just stay down to the side. The idea is as we're lifting and lowering our knees, you shouldn't be feeling your tummy pushing out into your hands. So stay nice and level, or maybe draw back again. Lengthen out. Right leg floats to your tabletop. We're going to do toe taps with our right leg. So your hips staying still. Your hands can feel if your hips are moving. Right foot taps down and lifts. You're working from your hip, not from the knee. So we've got 3, 2, so you're aware there's no movement through your hips and the lower back. Last one. So place that foot all the way down. And we're going to switch legs. Again, hips back, staying still. Tummy isn't going to push out into your hands. Breathing's just nice and easy throughout. Left leg comes to your tabletop. Sits the knee on top of the hip, shin parallel to the floor. And then tap left foot down and lift back up. We go for 3. Set for 2. Last one. Place that foot all the way down. Take your feet to the outside edges of the mat. Bring your arms out to about shoulder level. Do a cactus arm. So your elbows are bent, hands on the floor. So you're a bit like a goalpost arms. And then just going to sweep our knees side to side. Keeping your ribs, your shoulders, your elbows on the floor. So windscreen, wipe the legs. Maybe turn your head the opposite way your knees are going. Last one, come back to center. Bring your feet back in. Bring your arms down to your sides. So again, find your neutral spine. You've got that small gap under your back, chin is tucked, neck is lengthened. And we're going to add on to our toe taps. So we're kind of doing our Supermans. They're called dead bugs this way round. So right leg lifts back to your tabletop. Left arm reaches to the ceiling. That's it. So as you tap your right foot down, left arm's going to reach back to the wall behind you. Back. And just tap your hand, your knee together. And then we keep going. So tap your foot, reach your arm back. Come back to centre, tap your hand, your knee together. Last two. Last one. Tuck that knee all the way in. Circle your foot again. And the other way. Place that foot down, we'll switch legs. So reset, neutral spine, left knee lifts tabletop, right arm reaches up to the ceiling. So same thing, so tap your left foot down, reach your right arm back behind you. Back is nice and still. Come back to centre, tap your hand, your knee together. Two more. That's it. Last one. Hug that knee all the way in, circle your foot. The other way. From there, we're going to roll over onto our right side. You're going to rest your head either on your arm or on a cushion. Bend both knees to start with. And then your waist is probably just resting down on the floor, that lower side of the waist. We're trying to activate that side. So if you press away through your hips, imagine that top hip, that top bum cheek is going to reach the wall, the end of the room. So you start to get a little bit of lift or a little bit of engagement in that lower side of your waist. And then straighten out your top leg. Reach out through your foot. Top arm goes over your head. Same arm, same leg. We've got our dead bugs just on our side this time. So elbow and knee draw towards each other or together. Try not to move through your back and then stretch back out. That's it, draw together. So you want to feel like you're pulling your knee towards you rather than you rounding towards your knee. So knee draws in, back, stay still. You can go for 3. 2. That's it, last one. Restack your legs. We're going to open out into a lying twist. So your top arm just goes back behind you, chest opens towards the ceiling. Take a couple of breaths. Come back to centre. Then prop yourself up on your right forearm. Knees are bent. We're going to do one set of our hip lifts. So try not to sink down into your shoulder. Lift out, press your elbow into the floor. Keeping your legs bent. Lift your hips up. Nice controlled tap back down. So that's going to lift up and tap down. So you've got 3, 2, last one. So press up to centre. We're going to do a side bend stretch. The arm that's resting on the floor reaches over your head. Tall, turn to look over one shoulder. Turning to look over the other shoulder. That's it. And then we'll switch sides. So bring your legs round. Come all the way down onto your left side. Resting your head on your arm or a cushion. So both knees are bent to start with. And again, we're trying to bring a little bit of activation through our waist, through that lower side. So what normally happens, we lie down on our side, everything just chills out, relaxes down on the floor. So your top hip, reach that hip away from you. So imagine that hip, that bum cheek, that sitting bone is going to reach to the wall. And then you should get a little bit of a lift or activation to that lower side of your waist. Top leg, oops, sorry, just good. Top leg stretches out without kicking the cat. Stretch your arm out. So keeping that activation on the lower side of your waist, draw your knee, your elbow towards each other, and then stretch back out. Last 2. Last 1. Nice work. Stack your legs. Just rotate back through your upper body, your arms into your lying twist, and we'll take a few breaths. Come back to your side, propping yourself up on your left forearm. Lift out your shoulders, you're not sinking down. Press your arm into the floor, keeping your knees bent. Just got our basic hip lifts. So breath in. And as you breathe out, lift your hips up. Nice and controlled, tap back down. So they just touch the floor, and then lift back up again. And set. We go for 3. Good, last one. And then now back down. Press up, sitting, take it into that side bend stretch, so the arm that was on the floor reaches over your head. Sit tall, turn to look over one shoulder. And then turning to look over the other shoulder. So we're going to come down onto our front. So you're going to have your arms in our goalpost, our cactus arms lying on your tummy. So lengthen all the way out through your legs. Maybe your legs are mat width-ish apart. Arms are resting on the floor. We're going to do our baby back extensions to start with. So lengthen through your back. Arms aren't doing anything, remember. So you're not pressing into your arms. They're just going to rest on the floor. Breathing in. As you breathe out, head, chest, peel up. Grow long from head to toes. Again, you're not pressing in your arms. They're just resting on the floor. Inhale, lower down. Breathing out as you lift up, so you're not using your breath or your tummy to push you up. Inhale, lower down, probably feels really awkward. 3, One more. Rest down, turn your head to the side you don't normally turn your head to. Come back to centre. Same thing, but we're going to add a pause in at the top of our back extension. So again, lengthen through the back, reset, breathing in. Breathing out, head, chest, peel up. Pause in for 4. Lower down. Breath in as you lower. Breath out to lift. And pause. Inhale, lower. And pausing. Inhale, lower down. So remember, as you're lifting, as you're pausing, you're not pushing out into your tummy. Breathing's just nice and steady. Inhaling down, last 2. Last one. Rest down, turn your head to one side. And then bring your hands closer into your head, but just slightly in front of your head. You're going to come into like a long, low cobra. So from here, hands are flat down, just slightly in front of your head. So exhale, press into your hands this time, lift up. So it's a long, low cobra. Inhale, lower down. If it's too much, just stick with the basic baby back extensions. Exhale, pressing up. Inhale, lowering down. We've still got that slight pause at the top. Glutes should be a lot more involved on these ones. Shoulders away from your ears. We go for 3. For 2. So last one. And then rest all the way down. Again, turn your head this time you don't normally turn your head to. Take a breath. Come back to your child's pose. Come up to all fours. We're just going to stretch out through our hips. So if you step your right foot up to your hands, coming into a long, low lunge, your range of movement. Press down through your feet, pull your foot and your knee together. So you're going to lift up to our 90-90 left. So you've got your left knee, hip, shoulder in line. Tailbone tucks under, pressing the hip forward. Taking your left arm up and over your head. So bringing your hand all the way down. Come back through that low lunge. And then switching legs. The left foot steps up to your hands. So at your range of movement, feel like your hips are sinking forwards and down. And then pressing your feet down, pull your foot and your knee together and then lift back up. So it's a right knee, hip, shoulder in line, tailbone tucks. Feels like you've lost the arch through the lower back. Right arm reaches up and over your head. Insert, bring the hand all the way back down. Do that low lunge again. Flip and back to all fours. Toes tucking under. We're going to roll back to our feet and we're going to slowly roll up to standing. You're going to bend through your knees as you roll all the way back up. That's it. We're done. Your shoulders shake out. Good work.